Welcome. Welcome to my kitchen, and today we're going to be making a pome bread. Now this pome bread, skillet bread, biscuit bread is a variety that actually came about because a number of subscribers came to me and said, hey, can we have a gluten-free version of your recipe for pome bread? And so that's what we're doing today. And again, thank you for those subscribers who came up with this idea. I went ahead and got some different types of gluten-free flour out there to try. I'm going to show you the flour that I'm using that I seem to work best. So we're going to get right to it. So again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. We focus on these type of recipes, gluten-free, but also mostly Appalachia, Southern cooking, historical recipes. So please go ahead and subscribe, and I do hope you like this video. So let's get right into it. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and preheat your oven to 425 degrees. So of those who have watched my videos in the past, you know I like using cast iron skillets. I just think it tastes better and it's more historical. So I bake normally in a cast iron skillet or a Dutch oven if I can. And so I have a 9-inch cast iron skillet here. I already put oil in it and I'm going to be preheating it in the oven. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, you want to make it in a baking dish. Again, don't preheat it, but you do want to oil it, whatever kind of oil you want to use. So I have this pre-treated, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the oven to get it nice and warm, and then we're going to go ahead and mix our dry ingredients. So now that our oven is preheated to 425 degrees, and if you're using a cast iron skillet like I am, and like I recommend, is in the oven preheating, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and mix your dry ingredients. Now one thing I do not do, I don't do product placement, I don't get paid for recommending products. I'm just going to tell you what I use, and that's just what worked out for me. So I'm going to add 2.5 cups of gluten-free flour, and this is the flour that seemed to work for me. And again, I am not recommending this product. I don't get paid by this product. This is just what I'm using. I just want to let you know. There may be other products out there that I didn't test that work better. And if you found some other ones, let me know. That's the one thing with gluten-free flour. It is just so variable from company to company, or if you make your own. But I have the bag turned around. This is what I ended up using, and this seemed to work the best. I'm not recommending it. I don't get anything back from the company. I'm just wanting you to know that the result that I'm getting is based on this gluten-free flour. So I'm going to go ahead and sift in 2.5 cups of gluten-free all-purpose flour. So once you've sifted in your 2.5 cups of all-purpose gluten-free flour, the next thing I add is 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm just going to sprinkle that on. And then I add 1 teaspoon of salt. So now that the dry ingredients have been added, let me just go ahead and mix that together. So after you've mixed your dry ingredients, you want to add your fat source. Now for my recipe, what I use is I just use unsalted butter. There's different fat sources out there, and you can use whatever you want, but I'm using unsalted butter. So I take a 1/2 cup or a stick of unsalted butter. I freeze it ahead of time, and you'll see why in a minute here, because what you want to do is you're going to be cutting the butter into your dry ingredients. What I use is a rotary cheese grater for that. And so what I do is just go ahead and take a piece of that butter, and I'm just going to go ahead, and what you'll see here is it'll start cutting in, and it kind of shrivels it up. But you got to definitely make sure that you're doing this when it's frozen. And then between each section, I just go ahead and I just start mixing it in with the dry ingredients. So once it's mixed in, I just take the next clump of frozen butter and just keep repeating the process. I find this really an easy way to get the butter cut in to the dry ingredients. So once you have all your butter grated in, just want to go ahead and just make sure you mix the dry ingredients and the butter. And you'll notice as you do that, because you grated it in, that the mixture starts to get kind of crumbly, and that's really what you're looking for. So you can see here how the butter and the dry ingredients mix together, kind of make a crumbly mix. And the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add our wet ingredients, which is 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, there's things online where you can go ahead and make your own buttermilk, and you always want to shake it out, just so you know. Sorry for that. And you probably could use milk. I just don't do it. I like to taste the buttermilk. So you want to add 1.5 cups of buttermilk. So let me go ahead and just pour that out. So with any kind of pone bread or biscuits or anything like that, you want to try to mix it the least amount that you can. So now that we have the butter and dry ingredients mixed together here, we're going to go ahead and add our buttermilk. But we're going to try to mix it in here, but try to do it in a way that gets it mixed together, but at the same time doesn't over mix it, because the more you mix it together, the worse the biscuits get. So let me go ahead and just mix the ingredients together here. Now I'm looking here and I'm thinking this is just a little bit drier than what I want it to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of buttermilk. This is kind of, just have to go ahead and try it out and see what works for you. So as I said earlier, you don't want to over mix it. You just want to get a good consistency to it. And so after we have the dry ingredients, we put the butter in, got that to be a crumbly mix, added our buttermilk until it was got a nice consistency to it. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to pull our cast iron skillet out. We're going to put it in and we're going to bake it in the oven. So as you spoon it in, you just kind of push it around a little bit, try to get it squared away. So once you have it in your skillet, you're going to give it about 20-25 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. You want to wait till the top gets golden brown. So our gluten-free pone bread's been baking for about 25 minutes. Let me go ahead and pull it out of the oven. And I'm not sure how well you can see that from this camera angle, but it looks pretty good. It smells good. It was smelling good. I could smell that butter the whole time it was baking. So I'm going to let it cool here for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to cut a piece, put a little bit of butter on it, and see how it tastes. So our pone's been cooling for about 10 minutes, so let's go ahead and cut a piece and see how it tastes. Now I'm just going to put a little butter on top. Maybe a lot of butter. I love my butter. So let's take a quick bite and see how she is. I mean, she definitely has a different texture than the regular pone bread that I've made in the past, but the gluten-free is not bad at all. And if you have friends out there who need gluten-free or you're gluten-free, this is a great alternative. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe for gluten-free pone bread, skillet bread, biscuit bread, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.